If you're starting your journey at AWS, obviously, and without a question, congratulations. I'm positive this is going to be one of the most exciting opportunities you'll ever have in your professional career. But as you start your journey at AWS, I want to share some advice with you. Some things that I went through myself to help you keep on your toes for what's to come. So for new employees at AWS and those of you dreaming of joining the company in the future, this is how to survive your first year at AWS. My name is Ilyas. I'm a senior solutions architect. Now let's do this. I have divided this video into 4 sections to fully grasp how to adapt to life as an employee at AWS. The essentials is about what to expect in the first month as an employee. There's the Apprentice section, which you will be at the 3rd month. Becoming a practitioner is the 3rd phase, and it's usually around the 6th month mark, usually from 6 to 8. And then there's the Expert section, and that's, finally the 12 months point and beyond, which I'm going to call becoming an expert. Now, in the last recruitment phase, out of around 7,000 applications, only 52 managed to complete the recruitment process. You might ask yourself, why the absurd ratio? Well, to be hired, you must prove that you can offer better services than 50% of people currently employed at the organization. A concept AWS refers to as being a bar raiser. And that means that no one is permanently safe, really. Now, let's get back to the real talk. What to expect in the first few months as a newbie? Okay, so on the first day of the week, you will get oriented, you will receive your computer, you will meet your team, you'll meet your immediate manager. Most importantly, you will be given an Embark plan. I can't show you what it looks like for obvious reasons, but it's really nothing but a to-do list, a list of tasks that your manager prepared for you specifically. Your immediate and most important goal as a newcomer is to get to the bottom of the list by the end of your 3 months onboarding phase. Why? Well, because only after graduating from your onboarding will you be able to start doing what you were hired for, which is working with companies on solving their problems and designing solutions together. Nope. Getting into AWS is not the end. Yup. It is but the beginning of your journey to continuously learn and improve your skills. Now, your onboarding plan is carefully prepared by your manager. It includes, but not limited to, live and interactive training sessions, team projects to build, videos, articles, and all kinds of learning material. Your onboarding will run for about 2 to 3 months, and you will get to learn about AWS culture, AWS tools, mechanisms, and also create a formidable network across the company. And I can't stress this enough. Building a network is a very, very vital step for any Amazonian. So get acquainted with the right people, meet the OGs, go out and solidify your reach within the organization. Don't forget about leadership principles as well. Spend a good chunk of your time during the first months of AWS learning Amazon's leadership principles. These are the principles the company hires, promotes, thinks, and plans around. Some of the basic principles you need to learn to enhance your survivability at AWS are things like insisting on the highest standards, thinking big, learning and being curious, always inventing and simplifying, being biased for action, delivering results. Just a few among others. I think there are 26 by now. I will just add a link in the description so you can check them out. And you know what's great about mastering these leadership principles? Well, they give everyone a common vocabulary for communicating about pretty much everything. You'll notice very quickly that successful Amazonians bring up leadership principles frequently during company decision-making, problem solving, simple brainstorming, and even hiring process. And talking of principles, you will never find anyone who registers high on all of them. Each one of us is uniquely designed and has areas of strength and has some favorites. Therefore, some leadership principles will come easy to you. Others will need a lot of input. Tension will arise between some of them, and it's up to you to find that right balance. Also, if you didn't have your Solutions Architect Associate certification prior to being hired, that's the period during which you will be strongly encouraged to prepare and take the exam. Now, settling in well at AWS will take any new Amazonian about roughly 12 months, and take it from me or not, the first 3 months can have a significant impact on influencing the rest of that period. The knowledge you will gain within this time will go a long way to determine your longevity in the organization. So make sure to give it all your best. I don't know why I added this. Alright, it's month 3 and you just graduated from your onboarding and became an apprentice. That's the second phase that will roughly run up until your 6 to 8 months in the organization. So what happens here? Okay, let's find out. First thing is, by this time, you should be able to master Amazon's peculiar language. For example, when you hear something like one-way versus two-way doors, you should know that it means, is this decision reversible? Or questions like, do we have our tenets right? Or one of my favorites, does this scale? Which is something you will hear at least 10 times a day at AWS. So my advice to you is to invest time to absorb, ingest, and decode this language, because otherwise you will always have a hard time connecting the dots when sharing work-related issues with your network or with your colleagues, your managers. So just be ready to immerse yourself in Amazon's peculiar culture. Focus on the essentials. I would also say, most importantly, maintain a positive attitude and show your enthusiasm. Speaking of colleagues, it's also around this time that your impact should be felt, especially in and around your network, which is also likely to grow, by the way. Again, you are an apprentice at this stage, so you should be able to understand, you should be able to execute the performance goals set by your manager. But you will quickly realize that goals are more about inputs in AWS. They're not about revenue. Let me explain. At AWS, goals are made to be challenging. Therefore, don't expect to complete more than roughly 70%, Still, do not agonize over it. Everything will fall in place at the right time, one step at a time. Now, during the apprentice phase, you should be expecting less help, but still shadowing when necessary. What is shadowing, you may ask? Well, your onboarding buddy will be inviting you to their meetings with the customers to learn from their interactions. You'll be doing this a few times a week before your onboarding buddy invites you to reverse shadow a few times as well. That's when you lead and they watch, so they can provide you with feedback. And by the end of the calendar year, you should be able to look back and comfortably smile, having achieved great things at AWS. Let me give you a secret. The secret, if you ask me, is to plan ahead. Be aware of seasonality of events and their impact on your calendar. Know when reInvent is around the corner, for example, and what happens during this time. And it's also around the 1-year mark that you should be able to, I would say, become a true Amazonian. You should be able to learn how to write the Amazon way, how to cope with Amazon peculiar culture, how to practice self-awareness, be comfortable experimenting and failing, So combine your past experiences with whatever new you've learned in the past year. Think of new ideas, challenge the status quo, and develop new skills in line with your role. Now, if new to this channel, hi, my name is Ilyas. It's really great to have you here. In this channel, we talk about cloud architecture from a career perspective, from technical perspective. We share tips, diagrams, complete solution. We host cloud experts. So if you're new to this channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure to give the video a like if you're getting a value from it. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. The final phase is the expert phase. Just like the name, you have been in AWS for 1 year already. So much has happened, and it's from this point onward that you should conduct yourself like the champ you are, constantly operating with a feeling of urgency, but not paranoia, always keeping the standard high, always sharing your problems and successes for others to pick and learn a thing or two. You should be comfortable understanding what you're measured against at this point, and basically have at your fingertips how to get things done. You should also be able to help others within your network and beyond. Take some time to review the formidable network you have built so far, but from now on, you need to insist on quality versus quantity. Basically, insist on the highest standards everywhere. But the most important thing in this phase, in my opinion of course, is building your body of work, which basically falls into 3 categories. Category 1 is customer impact. Input versus output. How much time you invested, how much effort you invested versus how much the customer got back. Category 2 is thought, leadership, and drive innovation. And the final category is hiring the best, developing and investing in yourself. And yes, you are expected to contribute to the hiring process. You are expected to mentor people. You are expected to develop your public speaking skills and speak at conferences and write blogs and solve problems at scale. All in all, you are expected to express yourself cautiously, uniquely, and intentionally. And you know what? AWS's structure offers flexibility to move around anywhere and everywhere. And beyond the 12 months, AWS will even encourage you to change roles. So it's also at this phase that you would want to understand the promotion process. At AWS, promotions are based on the body of work against the role guidelines. Let me help a little bit. First of all, promotions are done periodically. From L4 and L6 promotions are done every quarter. L7 plus promotion cycles are actually done twice a year. So during every promotion season, your manager will review how you performed actually against the guidelines that were given to you when you started. So a quick tip is to ask your manager to share previous promotion documents. They will be very, very happy to. Remember the conversation I had with Tony, my previous manager, about everything solutions architect at AWS? There's a pop-up banner here, but wait, don't click on it right now. You will have a link in the description for that episode. But in that episode, Tony did a great job answering questions like, are solutions architects required to have a programming background? But we also touched on how to show your leadership and grow your influence at AWS. And in my opinion, you do this by picking an area of depth that ideally aligns with your passion and skill set and customer needs. Then you join a technical forum community, commonly referred to as TFC. So we explained what TFCs are in that episode and how to get the most of them, so don't forget to watch it after you finish this video. Now, at this point, you may have noticed that AWS is made of builders who innovate on behalf of their customers. So you will be expected to own and drive projects from day one. Not week one, not the first month, from the very day you sign up for work.
It is always day one.
So in a nutshell, to survive your journey at AWS, always remember that the bar is high, but set yourself a goal of achieving the expected. Now, what good is learning about surviving your first year at AWS if you haven't gotten into it yet? And for that, I have a full episode sharing the hiring process and how to best prepare for the hiring interview.